Heads up. If you have kids around,
parental advisory is in effect.
This is the Bonus Bone Podcast with Lamont and Tonelli.
It's like water torture.
Baby Huey.
Shasta.
And Joe Hawk.
Hey, Boneheads. Welcome back to the Bonus Bone Podcast. Shasta and the gang here. Lamont, Tonelli, Baby Huey, and Joe Hawk. We got everybody this week.
What's happening? Yeah.
Baby Huey's back. We can't make fun of him this week.
I know.
Who do you?
All right. Well, there goes about 15 minutes of the show.
It's going to be a very short podcast today. So we're talking about injuries because I don't even remember why. Because how did this come up? We were talking off the air.
Oh, I know exactly.
I don't remember how this started. Okay.
We were talking about the most gruesome injuries, and you came up with one that I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
Am I going first?
I guess so.
I can.
I guess so. You know what? Let's start off with this one.
Okay, so I'm writing a book. I've never said that publicly, by the way, but heads up, I'm writing a book. It'll probably be done in 20 years. And then this full story will be in the book. So when I was a little bitty girl, I was about 5 or 6 years old, so around the age of Cody, my son, and my mom was sunbathing on the deck of our pool. Mm-hmm. And we had one of those old 80s style pools.
Above ground
pools that were made of metal. So this is key to the story. So on the edge of the pool, it was a metal point. It came to a metal point, right?
Okay.
Which never seems like a good idea, especially after you hear this story. So she's laying out and she's like, and I'm swimming, and she says, hey, babe, I'm hot. Can you splash some water on me? Sure, no problem. So I stick my foot down into the water to kick water up on her, and I slip. And one leg goes in the pool, and one leg goes out of the pool.
Look on Joe's face is classic.
Okay.
And I split myself.
Oh, my God.
I basically cut myself in half.
Where a woman doesn't want to split herself.
Right.
More than usual.
What do you call it? The grundle area? Like
Yeah.
So you landed right on the
I landed right
metal point.
The whole bit.
The metal plate just literally
The
cut
whole
me into
bit.
Oh, my God.
So,
It got you ready for childbirth, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
It's like an episiotomy.
It wasn't that's exactly what it was.
It was a pool episiotomy.
It was episiotomy by pool. That's exactly what it was. So
Oh, my
here's the
God.
rest of the
You're
story.
lucky you didn't die.
I'm really lucky, and that's the rest of the story. So I start bleeding out, basically. The pool's turning red. My mom is freaking out. My dad was out doing yard work and heard us both screaming. And he comes running. He picks me up and he puts towels around me, right? And puts me in our van. And we go to the emergency room. The only thing I remember from the event is being in the back of the van and watching my parents just stare at me with like ghost eyes. Like you could tell. And I was too young to really understand death.
How old were you at the time?
5 or 6, around that. Because my parents were still married. They got divorced at 7. So I was around that age. I don't remember hardly anything, but I do remember thinking like, is this it? Like, am I dead? Am I going to die? Like, I didn't understand
At the age of 5,
exactly.
thought, right?
My near-death
That's pretty deep
experience.
thoughts for a 5-year-old.
It was, because I could see, I knew there was blood everywhere, and I knew my parents were terrified, and I knew my dad was just holding my body together, like with all of his might, just trying to stop the bleeding.
Right.
Yeah. So I go to the hospital, I get everything stitched back up, which may be why I have a very photogenic, perfect looking.
The 5-star.
Oh, my
Okay,
God.
well,
Thanks for the doctors in sulfur.
So we'll tell that part of the story just so everyone's on board here. So a long time ago, when I was actually about to have Cody, my my gynecologist out of nowhere just tells me I have a photogenic region. Thank you. Hoo-ha. And I remember I'm sitting there, and as a girl, girls know you're in the stirrups. You're like, hello, world. Like it's, everything's on display.
It's not the thing you want to hear from a doctor.
It's not, except that it's a compliment. So you kind of want to hear it. I mean, it's like awkward but nice. I was like, thank you, I think. I'm not sure. Anyways, so apparently it's pretty and photogenic. But which is why we call it a 5-star vagina on the morning show.
Right.
So maybe this is why, because it got all like perfectly.
Well, that is one hell of a doctor.
I don't know.
No
kidding.
That was able
world
to make
famous.
that 5. It could have looked like the Bride of Frankenstein.
It could have, but it does not. Just to be clear,
exactly.
It's all perfectly put back together. But I almost died. There you go.
Wow,
that was my worst injury.
That kind of reminds me of a story from my wife, who actually did code on the table from an injury.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
God.
What?
Lamont.
What?
Whoa.
So when I'm probably going to butcher the story, but when my wife was young, they had a Labrador who was a product of incest between two of the same bloodline dogs. So the dog was really unruly and bit her on the face right here on the left side of her mouth.
Ooh. Wow.
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, there are still some scars on her face, but apparently it was so deep, she lost so much blood that she actually did code on the table.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How old was she?
How old was she? Yeah.
Probably around 8 or so.
Oh, can you imagine your kid? Oh my God. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful this story isn't about a pit bull.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because we both have pit bulls
I
and
know.
we're like always fighting that bad reputation.
So then, because of it, she can't look at Frosties the same way because that's all she was able to eat was Frosties. After
really?
the fact. So she hates Wendy's Frosties. Yeah.
What doctor would prescribe that? That's my kind of doctor.
I know,
kidding,
right? She's traumatized by
Yeah.
Frosties, and
That's
you're
just-
like, yes, I'm here for it.
Yeah, so that's my
brutal.
wife's story.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she's lucky it wasn't a pit bull.
I know.
Would you stop? I knew that was coming. All right, who's next on their horrible injury story?
You told your wife's story.
Oh,
What
right,
about
yeah.
you, Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, knock on wood, I haven't had any real crazy injuries. Like the ones that come to mind back in high school during my wrestling time was just spraining both my rotator cuffs in the same year.
Oh.
So I would go from left arm in the sling and then later on the year, right arm in the sling.
When you say sprain them, you mean it would like pop out?
No, thank God. No, I'm
okay.
too much of a pussy to have a dislocated shoulder or anything like that. Okay, here's a fun one. So back in the end of high school, it was when Warped Tour this summer, me going to college, Warped Tour was still at Pier 3032. I decide to, I go there, meet up with my girlfriend at the time. What a cunt. Sorry, Hugh. Sorry, Hugh. You're gonna have
Maybe we'll want to hear
edit
that
out.
story. I don't know. Okay.
So I go up there and meet up with her, and I see that she's making out with some dude.
Okay. Hence the C
yeah.
word, C-bomb.
So, and
Baby Huey's loving this story. by the way.
so I come up, and right over her shoulder, I'm coming up from behind her. I punch the guy right off of her mouth.
Whoa.
So then,
Precision.
It's kind of badass.
So
Although it could have really gone wrong.
but
real
now
quick.
here's the
Oh, let me just back up. You didn't hit her. Why is it his fault? She's the one who's dating you.
Well, he couldn't punch her.
I'm not going to punch her.
But here's the deal. He has no idea that she has a boyfriend.
Come to find out, he knew at the time.
Oh, he knew? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then punch
screw
deserved.
him.
Yep.
Yeah. He was one of those guys. Oh, don't worry about him. That kind of situation. But that's not the point. So after I punch him, he gets up. We're like nose to nose. I'm like, you want to do something about it? And he does. So,
He does.
But he doesn't punch me. He gets me into a little front headlock. And of course, I'm coming off of 4 years of high school wrestling.
Right.
I get around him, and right there on the pavement, I do as what they call a 5-point suplex. Just straight backwards onto the pavement. The guy, he loses his shoe, and then he is knocked the F out. And then I come up, I'm just like, you done? And then he's, not responding. But then I start feeling blood come down my face. And I don't know.
Where was your blood coming from?
I hit the top of my head on the pavement.
Oh, as you went
ouch.
down.
Because, perfect form is that you actually go back.
Yeah.
Ran into a neck bridge. Huey knows one.
You took him to Suplex City.
I took him. Yeah.
Baby Huey was sporting
This
wood at
wasn't the
5-point
height of Kurt
suplex.
Angle, too.
Dude, that's
totally
like Brock Lesnar.
Unbelievable.
Suplex City.
But yeah, so I have a huge gash.
That's what she said.
segue
That's what
from
she
your
said,
story.
yeah.
On my forehead, and this is the part where it gets kind of hazy because head injury.
Yeah.
I get escorted by one of the members of Coheed and Cambria.
Shut up.
Straight up, I think it was the bassist. And he takes me to Rock Medicine where they put 5 staples into my forehead.
How did you come into this podcast going, I don't really have a story?
Yeah.
Head injury.
I mean, yeah.
He forgot about it.
True. Good point. That's a doozy.
Yeah,
That is a dude.
So
Wow.
about 10 days later, I get the staples taken out just in time to go on my little lake trip with my family.
Wow. God, my head hurts.
Do you still have a singlet from wrestling?
No, I had to give them back.
Do you have a singlet?
No.
Are you asking to borrow like it would
No,
fit?
it's like,
Trust me, actually, the only singlet that I did have was from my freshman year, and I only weighed 118 pounds at the time.
Oh, wow.
That's enough for your testicles.
Hold it. After that story, your question is, you're visiting Joe in a singlet.
I know,
dude,
right?
like Kurt Angle.
I am
don't
just
know who
kind
that
of curious. Baby Huey, with all this wrestling love.
Yes.
Did you ever wrestle in school?
No, we didn't have a program.
You didn't have
No wrestling
okay.
program.
Bummer.
No.
Right.
You should start up a program and be the wrestling coach.
I don't know what
Isn't
to
it
do.
Encinal?
Encinal.
Yeah, you need to do that.
I don't know how to wrestle.
So I'm kind of curious. So you played basketball.
Yeah.
All right. What was your worst injury?
In junior college, so playing at Merritt College in Oakland, we were playing Contra Costa, and I went up for a rebound, and I had one arm on the ball, but my back was to the rim, and this other guy grabbed the ball and brought the ball to his chest, and then took my whole arm with it.
No.
Just separated my shoulder.
Oh, my God. Don't you have shoulder issues?
yeah,
Is it
it's-
from that?
It's from that one. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh my God, my shoulder was hanging like down, like a lot lower. I looked and like my arms like flanging. Like I was like, oh my God.
Just kind of flopping around.
in the wind.
What did they do?
And so, they took me off the court and the trainer had to pop me back in.
Right there?
So I was like, oh, that's what Mel Gibson felt like in Lethal Weapon.
So is that a true thing? They just pop it in, then you feel okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's like the sensation of like feeling everything was like amazing. It was like this rush of like.
That's what Jay says, too. He's done that.
felt
and it's
so
just
good.
like,
Pop the shoulder out and then pop it back in?
yeah, and then they pop it back in. You're fine.
But
and you just cruise on.
I think the guy who did it was Willie McGee's son. Willie McGee, former Giant. Yeah, he lives out in the East Bay. So it was his son playing at Contra Costa.
Wow.
So,
Damn him.
So no, then
You
like,
still have shoulder issues to this day from
yeah,
that.
so I never had surgery or anything. So like to this day, every once in a while it'll pop out, and I
Do
gotta
you slam it into the wall like Mel Gibson did?
no, I have to like get down and like let it extend, and then like I'll feel like like the sucking sensation. It'll slide back in.
Listen, I'm not a doctor,
I
but
can't
that can't
handle
be
it.
good. I would get that looked at, baby.
I feel
Huey.
like-
I mean, this is over
lightheaded.
20 years ago now, but it's like.
But if it's still doing that, I
Yeah.
would take.
Well, I was playing flag football with the KMBR guys years ago, and I fell, and my shoulder popped out, and everyone started freaking out. And I said, guys, I got it. And I had to pop it right in front of
Oh,
them.
my God.
But then,
He's
like,
tougher than we think, you guys. We have learned today.
Wow, no kidding.
You're tough.
But no, and then it was throbbing for like the next week, whatever. But luckily, I had a bunch of Vicodin left over.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious why you have Vicodin.
Yeah.
So I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and they prescribed me Vicodin, but I didn't use it. I used ibuprofen.
He hoarded it.
So I had this bottle of Vicodin sitting there. I was like, oh, I guess I can finally use it now. So I was popping pills.
That's how he bought the concert tickets he always went to. In high school.
So I just took all the Vicodin. I was like, oh, and that's what it. It felt.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
I remember I was sitting in class in college, and I was just like leaning up against the wall. And it was just throbbing pain.
Oh,
But
God. That's
yeah.
horrific. No, thank you.
Thank you to
All
William.
right.
All right, so mine
Yeah.
I was about the same age you were. I think it was the summer of when I was 6 years old and had my first bike that was way too large for me because my parents were like, we'll buy him a big bike and
He'll
let him
grow
grow
into
into
it.
it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were cheap.
Still growing.
Yeah.
And
Good one. Nice.
I'll put on a singlet for you, baby.
We're making dreams come true today.
And there were restrictions because I was only 6. I was supposed to stay on the block, but my brother and his buddies were out riding their bikes. And I was specifically told, don't ride your bike. We're going to have dinner. And my brother and his buddies came in and said, hey, get on your bike. We're going around the block. And I said, well, Dad said, we're going to be eating dinner. And Jerry's like, oh, come on, we're just going around the block. So I hop on the bike and go down the block there's about 5 of us, I guess. And I was like the little runt because it was my brother and all his buddies that were 4 years older than me. And
I'm like, that's too easy.
we get to the end of the block and we head downhill and we make the turn to go behind the block. And I lost control. We're going into like a little alleyway where there's a building. And I lost control and went right into the corner of the stucco of the building.
Oh,
full
my
speed.
God.
Because I missed the
Face or
turn.
crotch first.
What's that? Face first.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I broke my nose. But more importantly, I was since, you're a kid, I had my baby teeth in still.
Right.
And my big teeth were just about to come in.
Yeah.
So they were up in the gum behind my baby teeth. My baby teeth got knocked out, and hitting the wall knocked my teeth that were coming in up behind my nose, inside my gum.
Oh my God. Oh, I feel like.
So I had a broken nose, lost a couple of teeth, scrapes all over my face. My brother's carrying me home and lays me on the washing machine in the basement of the house or the garage of the house. My dad's yelling at me in Italian.
Because you shouldn't have been riding the bike.
He was so mad he couldn't speak English.
That's great.
We have a doctor that lives down the street. They called him. They said, get him to St. Mary's Hospital up by Golden Gate Park right now. And they put me in the back of the car. I'm bleeding all over the place. And I ended up having oral surgery that night at St. Mary's. They had to cut open the roof of my mouth and transplant my teeth into the proper position. And then I had like 24 stitches in the roof of my mouth, as well as scabs all over my face and a broken nose.
They had to pull your teeth out of another part of your head back down.
Yeah,
so that
because
oh my God, I can't.
Because I was like, I
need
flying.
a chair.
I flew right into this wall.
That's nuts.
Without even stepping on the brakes. It was full speed. So that was
that's
the
a
bad
good one.
We got
How
a
about
lot
you?
of head injuries
That's a good one.
going
For
on.
myself?
Yeah.
Listen,
I was going to say, Mr. Hockey Player.
I've
Yeah.
had a lot of hockey injuries. I've had my nose broke. Take a look at this.
It just moves all around.
Give me your hand.
Yeah.
And I'll freak out with
cartilage?
this one.
Just-
It's gonna freak
There's
me
just
out.
cartilage.
It's just a
okay?
cement mixer.
All right. Now, if you move my
Oh God.
okay, I don't have a bone there. It's cartilage now.
It just
and it pops.
it
I
like
heard
pops
that.
and
Yeah.
grinds. Like that is not cool.
But that's not my worst injury. Okay, I've been hitting the head with a hockey puck when I was playing hockey.
That explains a
Cracked
lot.
the helmet.
I mean-
Cracked the helmet. But that's not my worst injury. My worst injury was when I was pooping at home on the toilet.
I remember because you called me after this
And I
happened.
passed out head first towards the floor, and I woke up in a pool of blood. My nose was broken again, of course,
Yeah.
right? And I lost a tooth. My tooth was through my lip. The whatever was left of my tooth.
Oh, God. I remember when that happened because you called me after that happened and you were like, I almost died like Elvis.
Right.
That's what you kept saying.
Yes.
You kept talking about
I was
Elvis. You were
almost
out of
dead.
it.
I was on that goofy diet that we
Yes,
were on,
yes.
where they gave us like liquid and whatever.
We
and
had 500
substitute.
calories a day.
And I don't even know if it was 500 calories.
Yeah.
And then we had our Christmas party, and I went to the Christmas party, and I don't know if I had food poisoning from the beans that they had, but when I got home, I wasn't. My stomach was gurgling. I sat on the toilet. I just started sweating like crazy, like I had food poisoning, and I was face first into the floor.
Oh, my God.
I thought it was from the sensation of release. That was an amazing turd that came out.
That or the
Well, let's
complete,
not-
or the complete opposite, just all the freaking pushing, just passing.
Right? That's what I was
Holding your
thinking.
breath.
No,
grunting.
baby Huey, let's not talk about releases in the bathroom. Okay?
Yeah, let's not. Tube Del More is not allowed on this
Too big, don't worry,
podcast.
and it's
Nice.
pleasure in the bathroom.
No. We're not going there.
Yeah, so that was the worst one.
That's a pretty horrific one. We all have really good stories, really juicy stories.
So does your husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could tell that story real quick because
okay.
Joe was a participant in this one.
Don't call me a participant. It's not
Well-
like I put him up into the crowd to crowd surf and stuff
Okay.
like that. So I get surprised at this beer and music festival with Jay showing up with one of his buddies, and some of our favorite artists were playing, Rancid and Pennywise, and I actually got a couple videos of us in the mosh pit. Which is kind of funny. I don't have a lot of injuries in the mosh pit, but that's a whole other story.
That's surprising.
So it's Rancid. They're the headliners of the night. It's dark out, and where the festival was at, it was in this back lot of the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds. So you know that area, Lamont, right? Mm-hmm. So out there, it's like field, dirt, rocks, gravel. It's it's harsh. It's all you covered in dust by the end of the day. Jay decides to get up and go crowd surfing. And
By the way, this is only 4 years ago.
Yeah, so like
he was
this
in
is
his mid-40s.
It's
Yeah.
not like he was 16.
No. He was not young and dumb. He was in his mid-40s.
this is literally a year,
A father.
a year after Cody's been born.
This was on Father's Day as well.
Oh yeah, this was Father's Day.
Yes, it was. Could've done
And
it.
Jay's like, I'm going up. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just see him go up like, yeah. And then suddenly he's gone. He disappeared from my sight. And so me and Jay's buddy, we go find it, and we just see him just like coming out of the crowd, holding his right shoulder.
Yeah.
Holding his right shoulder. It's located. And he's just like bent over in pain because he dislocated his shoulder upon impact of falling from 6 feet up. And he's just in so much pain. But I guess
he tried to catch himself, and it just popped right out.
Back in?
Yeah. Well,
I don't think
you couldn't do it. He's had previous injuries before.
Yeah.
It was not going back in, so they had to take him to San Jose County Hospital or whatever, and go to the emergency room and get it put back in. But he was so terrified to call me. Because this is at nighttime. I was already, Cody and I are at home asleep. It's Father's Day weekend, and here he is because he's a dumbass in the emergency room in San Jose. He was not calling me, so I never even knew it happened until the next day. I wake up the next morning and I look over, and he's laying there perfectly still with his arm in a sling. I'm like, you stupid SOB. Are you kidding me? You're never going out by yourself again. And the reason I was so pissed, to be fair, is all you guys know, he's a professional drummer. Our livelihoods depend on his body.
And he can't drum.
And he can't drum.
Sling
exactly.
Because he did something stupid.
That's right.
Hey, look at Rick Allen of Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay.
Yes, we have recovered, but that was a dark weekend. I will tell you, that was not
I think he also gave me some shit about that.
I definitely gave you some shit about that. As well I should.
You let him go up and crowd surf?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was just going to say that.
Are you kidding? He was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Go ahead and do it.
Do it. Go for it. I'll help push you up. Go, man. Go.
In my defense, I don't think I helped push him up.
Okay, good. I'll let that one go.
I was pretty drunk at the time, too.
Yeah, he's heading towards 50. He's not allowed to crowd surf anymore. All right, you guys. Well, if you ever want to, we said last week we were going to get an email together. We did not. So still send it to LamontandTinelli@yahoo.com.
Oh, I've got a few of them.
I bet you do. If you want to tell us your horrific injury stories, we'd love to hear them. Make sure you subscribe to 107.7 The Bone wherever you get your audio, and we will check you out next week. Thanks for listening to the Bone Podcast.